Hi everyone, I'm Karima Devine and welcome to 12 News in Focus. Every week we take a look back at some of the great stories brought to you from our 12 News journalists. On today's show, exploring northern Arizona's Lava River Caves and a new Veterans Transition Center designed to help rural homeless vets. But first, a Valley program placing youth with adult mentors.
Joining us and welcome back.
On this day, a celebration of bonds and new possibilities.
Splash it up.
The legacy nonprofit New Pathways for Youth not only matches kids with caring adults.
It's been great. Victor, this is all him. It's all his work. I'm just here to cheerlead for him. He's building the foundations for his life.
But provides resources for young adults and even parents.
But none of this happens without really smart, savvy people behind the scenes.
Our youth today need examples.
And that's where Melissa Hager and her husband come in. A power couple helping to power all of this.
So you guys decided to take this journey together.
We actually didn't start at the same time. I needed a little encouragement from Melissa.
He let me try it out first and then see.
I wanted to be able to give back to the youth in the community.
Can I say pizza and tacos? I didn't grow up around a lot of young people. I was worried that I was not going to be able to, I was not going to be cool enough to hang out with them. I think it's important to remember that they're just people. They have stories they can tell you. They've got dreams they can talk to you about. That make it really easy to connect.
As a vice president at U.S. Bank, Melissa realized prioritizing an hour or two a week became easier once she got to know her mentee.
When you meet the youth and you invest that time and get to know them as a person, you're not looking at it as a transaction, you're looking at it as a relationship. And when you have important relationships in your life, you make time for the things that are important.
Melissa using her business and leadership skills as a member of the nonprofit's Caminos Committee. You've gone from Latino mentors 30% to 50%. It's working.
There is no shortage of Latino professionals in Phoenix. So we recognize, the New Pathways recognized that there was opportunity to bring awareness to the pockets of Latino professionals across Phoenix.
A power couple in the business of compassion. Joe Dana, 12 News.
Amber Edens bleeds the red, white, and blue.
I was active Army, and I spent my 18th birthday in boot camp and served just over 5 years. Serving my country is an amazing honor, and to be the first one of my family to do it.
She was with the military police.
I was first stationed in Wiesbaden, Germany, and we patrolled all the military bases and things like that. And then September 11th happened, and I got deployed to Iraq.
Her platoon provided security for the division general as he traveled around Iraq. She was also exposed to a lot of toxic burn pits.
We were burning human feces, we were burning trees and bushes for line of sight.
A familiar sight in Iraq that would have consequences later in her life.
About 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. I would say about a year later, we found out it was stage 4.
Amber recently learned it may have spread to her brain and spine. But like a well-trained soldier, she's fighting.
I'm currently doing chemo every 3 weeks. I've done some radiation. I see a naturopath doctor for, Eastern and Western medicine to try and do everything that I can to stay here and live longer.
The treatment is expensive, but she got a bit of good luck.
We're actually going to be opening a fundraiser to over 15 million people to donate towards your fight.
The 50 Days, 50 States, 50 Veterans fundraising campaign picked Amber as their Arizona veteran to help expose her to a lot of potential donors.
The opportunity to raise some funds for all these things that are not covered by insurance, I'm just grateful.
Amber is taking it day by day and taking advantage of all the good opportunities that come her way.
My mantra is it could always be worse. I'm still able to enjoy life on the days that I'm not having pain.
William Pitts, 12 News.
This November will mark the 30th anniversary of one of the biggest Veterans Day parades in America, right here in Phoenix.
We're going to see a lot at this parade.
Yes, you are. You're going to see floats and bands.
Behind it, Paula Padine. The parade, however, was an afterthought.
The parade was nice because it had, cars and a fire engine and marching units and that kind of stuff, but It wasn't, there was maybe 10 people on the streets watching it. So the big thing was the health fair where we had hundreds of people and we screened them. And
Before Padine came to Phoenix to create the parade, she enlisted after a family hardship.
our house burnt down when I was going into my senior year. Oh, no. So any funding my parents had for college went out the window. The Navy was the perfect answer for me. I could travel, I could see the world, I could serve my country and get my college degree.
Padine spent nearly a dozen years in active duty and reserve. She re-enlisted during Desert Storm. She also met her husband, Bill, in the Navy. They had 2 sons, Robert and Stephen. Eventually, Phoenix and the VA became home.
I was the first full-time public affairs officer that they had at the Phoenix VA.
The parade became synonymous with Padine until she became a whistleblower in 2014 at the VA.
There was an off-the-books list that was causing deaths and delays, and we knew about it.
In actuality, it was a fake waiting list causing veterans to not receive care, with dozens dying. After standing up, she faced retaliation, moved to the basement library of the Phoenix VA.
And they decided they were going to take away the parade because if they had to put me back in my job, they were going to make me miserable. Yeah. And they knew I loved the parade. They knew it was my baby.
Many came to her defense.
The community rallied, and they saved the parade, is what they did. Mayor Greg Stanton at the time was like, I can't imagine Phoenix not having a parade.
And this fall, 30 years, as Padine is now executive director of a nonprofit that runs the parade.
We are so grateful to the community.
When is it going to be this year?
It'll be on November 11th at 11 a.m. I just say that the parade is God's work. Veterans, a thank you. A welcome home.
And coming up, a mystery illness surrounding the Colorado River at the Grand Canyon.
Michaela Costello has always had a heart for animals.
I have around 16 birds.
16 birds. Mm-hmm. What else?
Spirit dragon, 2 African dwarf frogs, some fish, a turtle, a tortoise, a leopard gecko, a dog.
Her passion, but she didn't connect it to her purpose right away.
I felt behind because I had my learning disability, was reading and comprehension skills. To be honest, if I didn't do WestMech, I wouldn't not even know what to pursue in life.
In fact, Michaela can pinpoint the moment her career path did become clear, and it didn't happen in a classroom.
I found him just making noise. I knew that I wanted to help animals, so I took an action to help the pigeon. Any animals, we are the first ones to notice if they're feeling hurt or ill, and we are the ones to take an action for them.
Wanting to do more, she put in the work. For 2 years, Michaela pulled double shifts, a full day at her high school, then racing across the valley for hours more at WestMech's veterinary science program.
That shows like how much you really wanted this.
Yes. I felt I was seen. I felt that I was surrounded with students, my peers, and my teacher who really cared.
That baby pigeon also inspiring an essay that won her top honors and $500 at WestMech's Why I Want to Be a Veterinarian contest, and earned her a spot in an immersive experience alongside real veterinary professionals. Small groups guided through case studies that each ended in a simulated surgery.
They're able to see how we take what we learn in a classroom and how we take the knowledge and the depth and understanding of that knowledge and how we actually put it into practice.
Instructors say that kind of real-world exposure is the point and part of a bigger trend. Career and technical education programs like WestMech's are expanding across Arizona, giving high schoolers a shot at industry credentials and a clearer sense of whether a career path is really for them before they take on the cost of college.
Showed me that first I really wanted to be a large animal veterinarian.
For Michaela, one pigeon giving flight to a career, and now sky's the limit.
Who knows? That's the question.
Weeks ago, he rafted down the Colorado River at the Grand Canyon. He's been sick ever since.
And I mean, like, I try to explain it to people. I mean, it feels like I did a hard workout every day, even though I've done nothing except for sit on my butt.
It started with an infected knee. Wobbutt says he skinned it, but didn't think it was too bad.
I mean, it was weird, but my whole knee just swelled up, was red. It was, it was awful. Then ended up on IV antibiotics and a full course of 2 different oral antibiotics to finally kill it.
Then the muscle and joint aches and flu-like symptoms that won't go away.
Not how I intended to go viral, but I guess if it gets the word out that there's something going on down there.
Wobbutt posted to a Grand Canyon Rafters Facebook group and found others posting about the same thing. One man posting that several people in his rafting group have had the same symptoms, including severe pain, and saying doctors are stumped. The Grand Canyon confirming Monday that the National Park Service is aware of the reported illness and is investigating with public health partners.
And it looks like that there are several cases in different groups. So definitely it is something where we feel there might be more behind it.
Dr. Britta Lastman is the co-founder of Beacon, a crowdsourcing infectious disease surveillance platform at Boston University. They're tracking the Grand Canyon outbreak and looking for more information.
We just now today on Monday pushed it out also through our Beacon social media channels.
Lastman says the majority of disease reports end up being something identifiable. It just takes time to find out what it is. Meanwhile, Matthew Wobbutt is waiting on more tests and trying to rest.
So I'm hoping to get some results back today or tomorrow. And, you know, I just take it day by day.
William Pitts, 12 News.
Welcome to a very unique episode of Rediscover Arizona. Hey, can you guys see me? I'm right over here. Hi, yes. Guys, we are in the Lava River Cave near Flagstaff, Arizona. And this is so unique. There is absolutely no light. You have to bring your own. So make sure you grab your light. Let's go hike this cave.
An underground cave tunnel? You heard me right. It's about a 20-minute drive from the base of Snowbolt, and after you park, it's maybe about a 100-yard walk to the cave. Wait, all I see is trees. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This random spot in the woods. Well, let's climb in. This cave is the longest of its kind in Arizona, and it's so cool. No, I literally mean there are parts where it's as cool as 42 degrees even during the summer.
Okay, so I know you guys probably don't believe me when I say it's pitch black in here if you don't have any light. Here's what it looks like without it. If you're scared of the dark, good luck.
Thankfully, while I was down there, I found some fellow cave people, Ron and Debbie from Mesa.
He started looking for hikes that we could do, and who doesn't want to hike in a lava cave? It's very cool.
I've never been in one. I don't know where else you can be in one, but this is very nice.
Make sure you bring 3 points of light, maybe a headlamp, a flashlight, and some other form of light, because it's dark and there's a lot of loose rock. It's a little creepy when it's just pitch black.
It is, yes, and quiet when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to get to a point where you could either go right or left. Don't worry about it, it's all going to connect back again, but let's go left.
The United States Forest Service says this cave was formed about 700,000 years ago due to a volcano erupting near Hart Prairie. Now it's believed that the cave was formed in a matter of hours with the lava flowing. The top, bottom, and walls cooled and solidified first while the insides flowed out, making it what you see today.
So this cave is about 3/4 of a mile long, and it was discovered back in 1915. And people around the area, when they found it, believe it or not, they used this tunnel as a refrigerator.
While you're in the tube, you'll be able to see some lava features like flow ripples, splashdowns, cooling cracks, and lavasicles. And there will come a point where you'll have to duck and walk to try to get to the end.
Well, we did it. We made it to the end of the Lava Cave Trail. Thank you so much for... Hey, who turned off the lights? Turn them back on. Thanks so much for joining us on Rediscover Arizona. We'll see you next time. I'm getting out of here.
Coming up, the effect that ESAs have on children with disabilities.
ESAs were initially created in 2011 to help kids with special needs who couldn't get those services at traditional schools. And there was modest growth. But when ESAs expanded in 2022 to all Arizona kids, it was easier to qualify as a student with a disability and receive much more money for home or private schooling. Today, a record number of kids with disabilities are getting over $30,000 a year. A few, 12 News Investigates found, are stockpiling leftover ESA dollars for college. There were about 7,000 kids with disabilities receiving ESAs for home or private schooling 4 years ago. Today, over 21,000. That's a 200% jump.
That is a very large increase over a very short period of time.
That's Princeton professor Jennifer Jennings. The endowed chair researches school choice.
There's lots of reasons that could be the case, right? It could be that families are actively seeking out Arizona.
Or
more people become aware of how the system works and the fact that there are incentives for kind of moving up the scale of funding that's provided.
ESA students without disabilities receive around $7,000 to $10,000 a year, while ESA kids with disabilities over $30,000 a year. This chart, based on Department of Education data, shows the dramatic growth in those large awards. However, Arizona is not seeing this kind of growth in other social programs for disabled kids.
Over the last several years, there's definitely been an increase in the number of children in Arizona that are receiving developmental disability services because they have autism. I would not classify it as a spike.
That's Arizona Department of Economic Security Director Michael Weishart.
And we've seen a steady increase, 4, 5, 6% year over year increase.
Governor Katie Hobbs said she questions the rapid ESA growth.
This is more examples of why we need guardrails and accountability. We don't do this with any other entitlement program.
To get additional ESA funding, a student must be diagnosed as having a disability, either through a local school district or a private evaluation. Love Your School Arizona is one of the biggest ESA supporters. In a webinar, one parent shared how she got her child diagnosed.
I have a child who has severe sensory processing disorder, and so we went to our MD, and you can also use a DO or a psychologist. We went to our MD. Can you write a note explaining how severe sensory processing disorder affects her educationally? They wrote it out, and I turned that into the ADE, and they changed my daughter's category from universal to a student with a disability. And it has provided her with all the materials that she will possibly need.
Jenny Clark, that organization's leader, did not respond for an interview. Today, state records show almost 21% of all ESA kids are students with a disability. District schools, 15%. 12 News Investigates found numerous ESA families with special needs kids properly use the program. However, with the growth, there is the issue of how some special needs money is spent by a few families of the 100,000 plus kids in the program. Public records obtained by 12 News found one special needs ESA family bought 3 bounce houses, purchases banned by the state. 12 News Investigates also found 24 ESA students categorized with a disability used $10,000 to nearly $68,000 in leftover ESA funds for college. Nearly all received at least one annual ESA award of $30,000 or more. The current highest ESA award is nearly $48,000 a year. Michelle Thorne is a special needs advocate. She founded Arizona Spellers Academy, a private school that receives ESA funding for kids with speaking challenges.
If a public school can't provide or won't provide the level of support that your children need, then the ESA program is a great alternative because it was designed initially for our community.
Thorne doesn't believe some ESA parents are gaming the system.
Are some parents thinking, well, I can get more money if my kid's diagnosed?
I don't think that's the majority of what's happening. I know that in order to get the extra funds for an autism diagnosis, there has to be an evaluation done. And I think parents are just trying to do the best that they can to support their children.
The Department of Education said it has no research regarding the growth of students with disabilities in the ESA program. There is also no way to measure academic progress. A spokesman said, quote, "Our role is to sign up parents for accounts as those requests come in." I'm Craig Harris, 12 News.
There's an oasis blooming in the desert.
We have 10 beds on the first floor, just built 15 up on the second floor. It'll serve 25 homeless veterans.
When it opens, it'll be the first Veterans Transition Center in Pinal County.
We've been working with them for a very long time, and a lot of them have drug and alcohol issues from their PTSD, TBI.
Kim Vandenberg is the director and chairperson for honoring Hiring Helping Our Heroes of Pinal County, or HOHP. For 12 years, they've been helping the 4,000 veterans connect with the resources they need locally rather than traveling to Tucson. Veterans are very close to Kim's heart. She has a lot of veterans in her family.
My husband served in Vietnam. He was a Navy SEAL. And my son served in the Marine Corps. My dad was in the Army. My brother was in the Navy.
When this new Veterans Transition Center opens in a few months, it'll have veteran-focused programs to help veterans get back on track, and the rural location will help.
We're a little bit out of the way where it's focused and you can't run to the store or get into town real easy.
A place where the forgotten can find themselves again.
Putting that veteran first so that they always are at the front of the line and getting their help.
Thanks everyone for watching. And just a reminder, new episodes of 12 News in Focus premiere every Friday on the 12 News app. You can also watch past episodes. All you have to do is download the 12 News app on your TV devices and you can watch for free. I'm Caribe Divine. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.